People all over the world know Dave Kindig for his amazing skills in restoring cars and doing fine custom work at Kindig-It Design. He has won over many car fans over the years with his unique way of making cars. His fans have been eagerly following his path as his fame has grown. But after he became famous, things went in a strange direction. Dave's life took a big turn for the worse when he was sued and his show was cancelled. Come with us as we find out what really happened to Dave Kindig. Okay, so the door panel looks a lot different now. Soon after getting on it and starting to shape it out, both Justin and I said, yeah, that's the ticket. Yes. It is, though. The inside of the car stands out when you stand outside and look in. So, Justin put in a one-piece leather headliner. It was a little hard for him because the roll cage was pushed up so high into the sides. A lot of TV stars get into trouble for things they do, but Dave Kindig would rather stay out of the press. He keeps his mind on his work. When he got involved in a case a couple of years ago, it came as a big surprise. In the past, more than 30 chiropractors and other health workers from across the U.S. hired Dave's business to fix up and customize a 1974 Dodge Charger. The deal for the job was $670,000 after both sides met. It's also important to remember that the chiropractors had already paid over $230,000 in deposits and original build costs because they expected a high-quality restoration. But as time went on, they became more and more angry, saying that little to no progress had been made. When the plaintiffs filed their case, they said that all Kindig had sent them was the shell of the car and had not done any work on the drivetrain, the interior, or the functional parts. Even though they asked many times for updates on the car's condition, they got vague answers or no reaction at all. In 2022, the client's anger hit a breaking point, and they sued Kindig Design for fraud and breach of contract. Plaintiffs in the case said Kindig Design took their money without doing the work they said they would. They also said they were lied to about the timeline and progress. Kindig-It Design explained itself by saying that the 2019 pandemic and shipping problems caused a lot of delays. The company also said that its good name and past great projects showed that the delays were not planned. Like most court cases, this one had a clear schedule for what happened when. It started in 2019 when Kindig agreed to fix up a 1974 Dodge Charger. The chiropractors paid the deposit to get the job going in early 2020. But by 2021, when the repair was still a long way from being done, they started to say they weren't happy. By the middle of 2021, the doctors thought they had no choice but to go to court. Earlier, the chiropractors had tried to settle the issue quietly through an alternative dispute resolution (ADR) process. There were mediation meetings to try to settle the case without going to court. But these sessions didn't work out because no one offered a refund and people had different standards. The claimants said Kindig ignored their requests and kept taking payments even though they didn't keep their promises. Although the chiropractors' lawyers were in court, they showed proof that no major work had been done on the car since it was taken apart, such as photos and bills. They said that the fact that the company hadn't made much work on the car after the first teardown was a clear sign that they hadn't kept their end of the deal. This led to the claim that Kindig had lied, been careless, and slowed down the project on purpose. In response to these claims, Kindig-It Design said that the work had not been abandoned, even though there had been delays, and that problems from outside the company were the main cause of the slow progress. The legal fight went on anyway, and the chiropractors were determined to get justice for what they saw as an unfair and unfinished project. Other people who used Kindig-It Design came forward with their own complaints as the case got more press. Some past clients said they had had similar problems, such as slow progress, bad communication, restorations that weren't finished, and trouble getting their money back. A customer who had to wait more than 3 years for a Camaro restoration made a very public gripe. The project stopped moving forward, though, and never got past the bodywork stage. These comments made people wonder if Kindig-It Design was taking on too many projects, especially when it was at the height of its TV fame. Fans thought that the company's fast growth might have made it harder for it to keep up quality and run its business efficiently. At the time, no new lawsuits were filed, but these new reports made people question how the company worked internally. As of 2025, the court case is still going on. During the discovery process, both sides are exchanging documents and taking depositions. If no agreement is made before then, the case is likely to go to court in early 2026. Fans and clients are paying close attention to the case because they want to know how it will end and how it might affect Kindig's future in the car restoration business. But that wasn't the first time Dave was sued. He went to court again in 2014, but this time he was the one who was being sued. Creative Controls Inc., a company based in Michigan, was accused of violating Kindig Design's copyrights and patents in a case made in the District Court of Utah. Kindig-It Design basically said that the defendant had copied and used their copyrighted works and patented ideas without permission, which was against the law. In custom car design, being unique is very important. Builders work for years to come up with new methods or get their own style just right. Each country protects new ideas by giving patents on things like hydraulic lifts or custom suspension setups and copyrights for artistic works like logos, body shapes, and paint designs. Builders will get the credit and money they earn for their work because of these laws. Without them, it would be easy for rivals to steal other people's ideas and make money off of them. So, the case was very important for Kindig because it was an action to protect its intellectual property and get money for what was said to be infringement. Creative Controls did not like the claims, though. The company asked the court to throw out the case, noting several important legal points. Among other things, they said that Utah did not have personal jurisdiction over them because they did not have a major presence in the state. They also said that Kindig's civil claims are not supported by enough evidence. One rule of civil procedure says that a case can be thrown out if the claims don't have enough factual information to go forward. In the course of the case, both sides made their cases. Creative Controls said that they had no direct business ties with Utah and that they did not have any workers or do regular business in the state. They also said the court didn't have the power to hear the case and asked that it be sent to Michigan. The case would stay in Utah, though, because Kindig-It was set on that. They gave a number of reasons why the court should have control over Creative Controls. To begin, they said Creative Controls ran a website that let people, including some from Utah, place orders. Second, Kindig-It said the defendant had sent them a custom parking brake in Utah many years before, and that the gift had been made public. The third point was a single sale made on the website to a customer in Utah. However, both sides agreed that this single sale shouldn't be used to prove jurisdiction in Utah. While this was going on, something new happened in the case. According to the case file, Creative Controls used photos from Kindig's website in Utah, which made the case for establishing jurisdiction stronger. We now live in January 2016, when the Utah District Court made its decision. The court agreed that there wasn't enough proof to hold Creative Controls responsible for some claims that weren't linked to patents, but there was enough proof for the patent claims. The court decided that even though Creative Controls' website did help people place orders, there wasn't enough proof to say for sure that it was aimed at Utah customers. The donation of the custom parking brake, which happened years ago, was seen as too far away to be a strong basis for jurisdiction. In the same way, the one-time sale to a customer in Utah was not enough to show that the court had jurisdiction over the case. That being said, this decision did not end the case. Both sides kept fighting over small law issues. For example, Kindig asked the court to order more discovery, but the court turned it down in April 2017. The court said the motion was too late because it was sent in a month after the discovery time ran out. Judge said that Kind's request for information was not relevant to the needs of the case, even if it had been made on time. In June 2017, the case was sent to a magistrate judge to help people talk about a solution. Both sides met for a settlement meeting after some time, but they were unable to come to an agreement. Nevertheless, the case was finally over in July 2017 when both sides agreed to drop the case with prejudice. This means that both sides decided to drop their claims and counterclaims and gave up their right to take further legal action in the future for the same reason. The public didn't know the details of the settlement, but it was clear that both sides had come to an agreement and ended their legal battle. Aside from Dave's cases, the world has been amazed at how his shop and TV show have brought old cars back to life. The show, which started in 2014, showed the skill and creativity that go into customizing cars. It was a hit with both car fans and people who just like watching shows about cars. Dave quickly became known on the show for his creative ideas and love of all things car-related. There was more to the show than just seeing how handmade cars are made. What went on in one of the world's most famous custom shops was shown to the public. A lot of the time, old cars like Chevrolets from the 1950s and high-performance muscle cars were worked on. It was the hard work and attention to detail that Dave and his team put into every job that stood out. Even though the show was getting more popular, Dave's life was changing behind the scenes. Running a top-notch custom shop came with a lot of problems. Dave and his team had to deal with both the stress of keeping the shop's high standards and the fact that they worked in a very competitive field. But Kindig-It Design stayed at the top of the personalized car business despite these problems. It wasn't just making pretty cars for them to work on. In order to make sure that the history of the cars they fixed up would live on for future generations, they did this. David Kind is the owner of Kind Design, and his work has been shown at some of the biggest events in the world of cars. He and his team have won a lot of awards, including the Riddler Award, which is one of the most prized prizes in the custom car business. Fans were shocked and unhappy when the show was abruptly cancelled in early 2025, despite the team's many achievements. Later, Dave Kindig revealed the news in a heartfelt Instagram post. He thanked supporters for their support and reassured them that his love for custom builds and new ideas at Kindig-It Design will never fade. The choice to end a show that touched millions of people around the world certainly brought up a lot of questions. Several sources say that the show was cancelled because of a number of reasons. One of the main reasons given was that there were more and more car TV shows competing with them. More shows about fixing up old cars have made the market more crowded, making it harder for one show to stand out. The rising cost of making things was another important issue. It cost a lot to make a high-quality show with complex car builds and work done behind the scenes. As the show's costs kept going up, it got harder for the network to decide if they should keep airing it. Fans are sad that the show had to end, but many are looking forward to what the future holds for Dave Kindig and his team. It's clear that Dave's impact in the world of custom car design is far from over. He has new projects coming up and his shop is always turning out beautiful cars. Even though the news was very sad, Dave's impact in the car world is still strong. He keeps pushing the limits of style and innovation, making one-of-a-kind cars that get attention everywhere they go. He has always been dedicated to quality and attention to detail, and it's clear that his love for the job will keep driving his success. When we talk about success, Dave Kindig's rise to fame is truly amazing. He was always interested in design as a child and would draw and sketch different things for hours on end. From a young age, he liked drawing in great detail, including bugs and other animals. But it wasn't long before Dave learned that designing custom cars was what he really loved. He quickly changed his focus to drawing cars when he learned that was a better way for him to show his creativity. His interest in design as a child set the stage for his future career in the auto industry. Dave has always been interested in cars, which started when he was a kid. But while his love for cars is important, he needs a lot more to make a living from it. You need to be trained and have experience doing it. Dave got his first job at High Performance Coating to learn what he needed to know. He learned how to work in the repair business there. This job helped him become successful in the future. Dave always seemed eager to come up with new ideas, which drove him to do things that most people thought were impossible. He learned high-speed coating for a few years before deciding to quit and start his own business. He started Kindig Design in 1991 with the money he had saved for retirement. Kindig Design first worked out of a 4,500 square foot area. It was just right to get the work done, even though the room was small. What made a difference was how hard Dave worked at his job. He worked hard on every car he worked on, even though he didn't have a lot of money or time. His love for cars and attention to detail make him stand out in the repair business. His skills quickly became known, and soon people from all over the world were looking for his help. Since Dave's fame grew, he knew it was time to grow. He moved into a 27,000 square foot building that was much bigger. Dave took a big step forward with this, which made him ready for bigger tasks. Dave was able to hire a group of skilled professionals who helped him with his ideas and vision when he had more room. With his new team, he was able to take on tasks that were even bigger and trickier. After making a name for themselves in the field, the Kindig Design team didn't give up. They were smart to send out a media blitz, which surprised everyone by getting the attention of the right people. The work they put in got the attention of showmakers at Velocity TV, which is now called Motor Trend Network. The producers got in touch with Kindig's management team and asked for a sample film. They were interested in how the team worked and what the building was like. Dave thought this was a great chance to get his name in front of more people. He didn't think twice about making the best sample movie he could, and it paid off. The producers were pleased right away and said yes loud and clear. At that moment, his TV show was born. Without a question, it became one of the most watched shows on Motor Trend Network. For sure, the custom builds were amazing, but Dave's plan was what really made the show stand out. Before he signed anything, he made sure to talk about some important parts of the contract that would protect the show's authenticity and character. He told the people who were making the show that the cars they were building weren't just for TV. They were for his most important customers. Dave said he would never rush a job just to get more viewers on TV. This choice helped keep the high level of quality and care that Kindig Design was known for. Dave hasn't slowed down at all since the show ended. As of 2025, he is still fully dedicated to running Kindig-It Design, his business that restores personalized cars. Focusing on making high-quality cars, the company continues to do well. Dave not only runs his business, but he also takes part in industry events and car shows. He was shown at the Master Tech Expo, where he talked about how knowledgeable and excited he is about making custom cars. He stays up to date on the latest trends in automotive design and restoration by going to these events and meeting other pros in the field. Dave likes to spend time with his wife Charity when he's not at work. They are known for how much they love golf. Dave also plays golf with Charity on a lot of different fields. He does this to relax and connect with other people. Dave also cares about helping others and has taken part in many community events. He promotes causes that are important to him through car shows and other events. With his position, Dave knows how important it is to do good, and he always tries to make a difference for the better in the automotive world and in his own neighborhood. Not only does he work on building cars, but he also tries to make relationships and use his success to motivate other people.